Good morning, everyone. This is Inside South Florida. Thank you so much for watching. I'm your host, Jason Carter, and starting things off today, our WSFL-TV Trusted Advisor, Chad Van Horn of Van Horn Law Group, has shared many revelations on bankruptcy and its impact on your financial well-being. And he recently graced us with his presence and offered even more sound financial advice, but this time, Chad threw in a twist. Take a look. I hear you're a fan of the show Squid Game, which I finally got into. I still haven't been able to wrap my head around it, but it's so popular due to people being able to identify with a lot of the characters' financial struggles in the show. Elaborate, elucidate, tell me, Chad.
Yeah, so I never thought I would be interested in something like this because I hear it's somewhat gruesome. I heard all these things and I started watching it. And then I realized that this is really a show about debt. People that are dealing with debt. They actually talk about bankruptcy in the show, and they'd rather face death than deal with the crushing debt that they were dealing with. So it really hit home with me because obviously I deal with debt every day of my life. I see people facing similar circumstances where they'd rather do things that are dangerous or fiscally irresponsible, whether it be gambling, whether it be playing the lottery, than actually deal with their debt head on. So it really hit home with me. It was really interesting. I binged it in one day, believe it or not.
A lot of people did. You're one of millions who binged it in one day, Chad. How was bankruptcy spoken about in the show?
So one of the characters actually was talking about bankruptcy as one of the options to deal with their debt. And they said, well, that's never going to work for me. I guess the Korean laws are very different than they are in the United States when it comes to bankruptcy. So they actually chose to go on the show and face death for that chance to win. I think it was about 38 million US dollars. And that would change their life and deal with it. But they literally were facing death. I've seen that in my practice, believe it or not, where people would rather face death than deal with their debt. In that I've actually had clients' family members come in and their family members committed suicide for having a life insurance policy so that they can take care of their family. I
Wow.
mean, it's really the stress of debt. It should not be underrated. I mean, it's really a big thing, and this show I think really put it out there for people to see.
That's so prolific what you just said, Chad, about people that are strong-armed with the weight of death that would take their own life to make sure their family is okay. Mind-blowing, Chad. I want to ask you though, when it comes to bankruptcy, we talk a lot about bankruptcy here on the show, and you always highlight that there's a silver lining when it comes to bankruptcy. What is it?
So bankruptcy is really not that bad. I know people hear the word bankruptcy, they think awful things. The majority of our clients that file bankruptcy do not lose any of your assets. They don't send people to your home to take your pictures and take your clothes or anything like that. So the overwhelming majority, I'd say 90%, don't even have to pay anything back to the creditors. They get their fresh start in approximately 3 months, and then 12 to 18 months later, they have a 700 credit score, and as far as credit wise, everything's good. So to relieve the pressure of debt and relieve that stress and allow yourself to rebuild, I mean, it really is a perfect situation for a lot of people. So if you are in debt, certainly don't take the extreme options that you see in Squid Games. There are reasonable options out there, and I'm certainly happy to guide you through those options.
And how can they connect with you, Chad?
Yeah, so it's really easy to get in touch with me. Obviously, you can watch this show weekly, but if you want to talk to me directly, you can go to vanhornlawgroup.com. Give us a call at 954-637-0000, or email me directly at chad@cvhlawgroup.com.
Chad, you have such a nuanced approach to how you talk about finances and financial health and wealth and things of that nature. I mean, that's why you're a WSFL-TV Trusted Advisor. Always glad to have you on the show. And I'm still not going to binge watch Squid Games, even though you've recommended it to me because it's just too gory. But I'm glad you did. And I'm glad that we could take something positive away from the show, Chad.
I'm telling you, it's worth it. I'll tell you when to close your eyes because I did a couple of these as well. But thank you always for having me on.
It's always a pleasure to have you on Inside South Florida. Be well, brother.
Thanks.